It's your boy, Knew Better, Do Better. I am back. Yes, I am back. I was gone. I know you all missed me, but I'm back. I'm here. I'm ready to get into episode 11. Episode 11. I don't remember recording 10. I don't know what happened.
It
I
just
missed. I feel like I missed
flew
something.
by.
Episode 11 is here. We got KaliCosplay, wonderful co-host, the boss, KaliCosplay herself. Kali.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another week, and we have some amazing guests, but I am going to let NewBetta introduce them because he has actually met them in person, and I'm very jealous of this. But
Very good. Do you see this dimple right here? I'm very happy and excited to introduce people I would say now that are my friends. I have with us, and I'm going to let you say your own, intro, but I'm going to, give your names. We got Anna Maria. So Anna Maria, tell us where you're from, what you do.
Hi, y'all. I'm Anna Maria, at only Anna Maria on everything. I'm from Houston, Texas, even though I'm currently in London for school. I'm an actor, I'm a community organizer, and I'm a lifelong Tolkien super fan. And I'm so excited to join these legends on the podcast.
You're the legend. And then, oh my goodness, I'm just like so excited right now. I get to introduce, first of all, like I'm like a kid in a candy store. I get to introduce Laurendoescosplay. We got another cosplayer, but they are like exploded into the stratosphere with the amazing cosplays that they do. So we got Laurendoescosplay, we got KaliCosplay, both of them beautiful, wonderful people who just inspire me to actually get enough courage to cosplay, but I haven't done it yet. But literally awesome human being. Lauren, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lauren. As the name suggests, I do cosplay online. I just recently did a Galadriel armor build from the new Rings of Power show. Yeah, Lauren does cosplay on everything. I'm from Colorado, and also just a big Tolkien fan and love hanging out with my Tolkien buddies.
Yeah, so here at Voices in Arda, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep with the theme, Tolkien, everything. So we got wonderful episode today that we got going on because we're going to literally talk about our experience at San Diego ComicCon 2022. It went down. We were all there. We were there together. Me and Anna Maria were on a panel together. Literally, we got to behold Laurendoescosplay literally eating everything up. She was literally eating everything up, and it was amazing. So let's get into it, and then we're going to also talk about you guys' experience being females in this fandom and the good and maybe a little bit of the bad that maybe we can help rectify and clear up some things, and we'll talk about that. But we're gonna have a wonderful episode. I'm so excited, and I'm just honored to be able to share this space and time with my friends, and to be in the very wonderful presence, as always, of KaliCosplay. I just want to sit here and take this time to thank Kali because Kali literally keeps Knew Better Do Better in check. She always makes sure I'm on time for everything. She makes sure I remember everything. She books everything. Kali does everything. So I'm just a voice on here, and I know it's my podcast and her podcast, but literally she does everything. I just run my mouth, and she needs to be praised, and she needs to understand how much I appreciate her. And you're awesome, and thank you very much for everything that you do. You are appreciated, and you are loved very much. And it would be nothing without you going on. So, KaliCosplay, if y'all don't follow her, make sure y'all go do exactly that because she's thebomb.com. And yeah, let's get into the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really sweet. So I have to ruin it with a bad joke, obviously.
I forgot to tell you guys when I was briefing you on the episode that this bullshit was about to happen. So I apologize on his behalf. I take back everything I just said because she's about to ruin it all.
It's too late.
This joke.
I was thinking that in my head. I was like,
Get
he's
on
saying
with
all
it.
these nice things. He's gonna take him back. But so the question of the week is why can't hobbits hold boxing matches?
Can't hobbits hold boxing matches?
Just because they destroy the ring.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
That's been all for me today, folks. I'm
I actually have something I've got to be at too. So this is
and everybody just hit the unfollow button. Oh.
that was a zinger, honestly.
We needed to go through that hardship to make our friendship that much realer. So I'm glad we got that out the way. Now let's get on with the episode.
All right. So y'all were at San Diego ComicCon. And I was not. So I want to live vicariously through everybody's experiences. So please tell me every little detail that you want to share. I mean, yeah, what you ate or something interesting, people you met, or yeah, just go for it.
The food was good. Unlike the food in England, annex, which is terrible. The food in San Diego is the bomb, yo. It's the truth. So absolutely love the food. Anna Maria, what did you think? Lauren, what did you think?
Well, first of all, just to be back, I've been in London for 6-7 months at this point. Just to be back in the States, eating good food, like you said, oh my God, I was like, oh, there are spices here. What a concept. And then to be back for like the sole purpose of joy, just to go to Tolkien's summer camp for a few days with the best people in the world. It was a dream. It was a dream.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought all the food that I had was pretty good. It was heinously overpriced. You know, you were hard pressed to get a bucket of slop for less than $25. So that was a little bit jarring. But yeah, like you said, like Tolkien summer camp, that's what it was. It was just like purely a trip of pleasure and just like being around friends and having so much fun the whole time. It was like, it was kind of overwhelming how much fun it was. It's just like everything that you did all day was just like, I'm having the best time. I'm with the best people. Like I can only take so much.
One of the best experiences during the whole time was seeing Lauren's reaction to everybody else reacting to her. It was very, very sweet and awesome because she would literally look side to side when somebody was like, oh my God, you're Laurendoescosplay. She'd look like, first of all, like, are you talking to me? And she's like, oh my God, why are you so excited? Like, this is amazing. Like, you deserve every bit of, love that you get. So take it and enjoy it. And you were very humble, which is very refreshing in human beings. Because as sometimes people can get big heads about everything, and you were receiving a lot of attention, deservedly so, but you took it like a champ and you handled it very classy. And I want to say that was one of the best things about the entire trip, was seeing how down to earth you were. And like I said, I'm not just saying this to say this, it was super refreshing because you literally would be funny, you would laugh, you would like think, like you would, any bullshit, you would be like, nah, that's bull. Like, but you would do it in such an American, like, cool way to where it's like, she's definitely who she said she is, and it was awesome to see. And you were literally very present, and you were like attentive, and you were like humble and respectful, and it was awesome. So that was one of my highlights, meeting you and seeing that, and seeing that in a person of such great stature.
You're like the nicest person on the planet, literally. Oh my God.
Listen, I'm not the nicest person, because if he was being another way, you know what I'm saying, I might have would have had to be like, yo, listen, Lauren is the worst. You know what I mean? Like, it's just what it, but the energy you put out, I very much believe is the energy that comes back to you at some point. It may not be right then, but it comes back to you. So thank you for that. And Anna, you know, me and you don't really vibe like that, so I ain't really.
Yeah, I actually got mad beef with KnewBetta, and we're playing nice for the sake of Kali. It's all about the content. It's all about the content.
I am the boss. I have to keep things in line.
Kidding. KnewBetta is an angel, and a literal angel, and
such
is just
a good person.
Gracious and welcoming and real and funny, and knows his stuff, and it's just like you can just tell that he's a community oriented person, because communities are automatically made better the second he walks in the room. Just period. Like, end of story.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Can vouch for that, because our online community is, we built around him, and the people in it are amazing, and he just attracts the best people. I don't know what it is, but everybody is just amazing and awesome. And so
It's exactly what you were just saying about me. It's like you are also just like the most real person. Like I think we both kind of have an inability to not be ourselves, you know, and just whoever is attracted, like, you know, some people just kind of suck and it's like, okay, well, that person just kind of sucks, but like you're such, and like I'm sure you have people that you don't get along with, but like you genuinely are such a good person and it's a pleasure to know you.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. You know, I don't know what to say. I'm very honored.
Can't take the compliments,
about it.
huh?
I can say compliments, but
I love how this got turned around. This is
Yeah.
great.
I was just watching everyone on this podcast fold under compliments for an hour straight.
Don't perceive me, I can't.
all right. So moving right along.
Okay.
So
Time to trash talk each other.
yeah, I know, right? Like really, like same thing. So, you know, not to leave anybody out, but Anna Maria very much has the swag of, I don't even, Mick Jagger. I don't know. Like,
I think that's the song.
craziness.
Yeah.
Literal sweetheart, literally pays attention to every single detail. And that's very rare where no matter what you're talking about, sometimes you talk to people and you're like, they're not listening to me or they didn't hear that. I'm just talking to talk. Will literally can relate and add on and give advice and really is so deep, very, very deep. Not just a pretty face, very present, more present than a lot of people I've met. And so to give the last compliments of this compliment session we got going, thank you for being who you are, and because you very much people gather around you. You are very well spoken. You are very smart, but you're also very kind. You're not judgmental. You're also very real at the same. Like you guys all have a thing about you where you guys, you know, be yourself. You know, we all have. I want to say we all have something about us that people, you know, are attracted to, and they're like, cool. It's very easy to get a big head when that happens, you know, or you know, we speak a certain way and people tend to listen. It's very easy to just take that and run with it. Well, none of us let that change who we are, and we call out bullshit when it's needed to be called out. But we're also very mindful not to be disrespectful of anybody, and we're very accepting, and it's just it makes for a very loving environment. And I would, if I do any trips or anything going forward, I would love to have you guys there. You know, it's just literally makes a perfect marriage of talking fans. So thank you very much for all being who you were. I enjoy myself immensely, and that is mostly because you guys were there. So moving right along from that, San Diego also is very beautiful. I've never been to the West Coast, my first time, and it was really beautiful. It doesn't rain in Southern California. That's the song?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
So, that was dope. What were you guys? I'm gonna ask you, what were your favorite experiences at the Comic-Con? We'll talk about individual things in a minute, but individually, what were your specific moments where you were like, this is it, I'm here?
Well, I had a bit of a big moment.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I don't know. I could say that top that one. But aside from, I got to meet Morpeth Clark in my costume, which was very insane and crazy. But like, aside from that being, you know, a very definitive moment of like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like genuinely just being with all of the people and like, just getting to talk to everyone in real life and like have conversations about Tolkien and the internet and like all of us sort of being in the same space. That was like, I just love getting to talk to people. So that was my favorite part.
That's awesome. That's great. What about you, Anna Maria?
It really is so hard, like, because like there are like the obvious big moments, right? Like being in Hall H all together, like going to this Middle Earth moot and like cosplay. It felt like an elf, like it was really getting to meet the cast and the showrunners and like the panel.
It was the spin for me.
Yeah.
It was the spin.
Yeah, like those big moments and the panel and everything. I would say it like the stuff I've like been looking back on a lot are like the little moments in between of, like Lauren said, like being with everyone. Like it's like it's the waiting in line, and then like us having drinks when we're exhausted and we're like, we gotta rally for 8 more hours. It was the sense of like we're all insulated in this space for a few days, and all we have is each other and Tolkien, and it's good vibes. And then but probably like from big moments, like after the panel that Willie and I were on with Lord of the Rings, Tolkien professor, Clifford Broadway from Torn, there are like the people coming up to us afterwards, like being really affirming and supportive of how we talked about the Second Age and how we talked about the show. That was positive face-to-face in real life fan interactions was also really lovely, because not always like that online.
It is not always like that online.
Unfortunately, but I'm glad that we got the experience, and I literally can say that I didn't have really any negative, maybe like one negative thing, but nothing to really chat about. Definitely had a wonderful experience. My biggest moment, obviously, just like Lauren, meeting Moiser Clark, and not only him, but Benjamin Kingsley. I think I'm saying his name right. So when I met her, literally this wonderful lady who I'm a fan of, and I'm like, wow, I'm in the presence of greatness here. Said to me that she was really excited to meet me, and she was a huge fan of mine, and I was just like taken aback. Said I was, her favorite content creator, and that is very humbling, and just like, wow, like I can't believe that, like you really do know my stuff, like, and and she was very grateful and respectful, and it was amazing, talking to her about her character. That was awesome. And also the gentleman that plays Gilgalad, like I said, Benjamin Kingsley, I think his name is, if I'm not mistaken. Literally, I was a little down from him. So you guys know, when we were at the table, it was, everybody won, and it was
I wasn't there.
I'm sorry. You kind of had the two people that were closer to you. You could talk to them, but the other ones were down with the other two, and you kind of really kept your conversation to these people. He was down a few spaces from me, so I really couldn't. He couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear him. But of the elves, I'm a huge Gilgalad fan. I'm Fingolfin, Turgon, Expellion, and Gilgalad are like my favorite elves, and I'm like really love Gilgalad. So I went up to him. I was like, "Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I'm a huge Gilgalad fan." And then I was like, "Sorry to interrupt," and I went and sat down, thinking that. And he was like, "Oh, cool," He's like, "We'll talk," and I'm like, "We're about to get up and leave. We're not going to talk, but thank you for acknowledging me." This man came around the table, kneeled next to me, and talked to me for 15 minutes and really paid absolute only attention to and focused to me, and really had a deep conversation and was interested in my viewpoints and of his character. And he knew his character, others' characters, their relationships that were there, everything you would want to hear from an actor that is playing something where you've been, loving and committed to your whole life. They really took the time to learn not only their character, but other characters and the relationships they're supposed to have, possibilities, even if it wasn't, because Gilgalad, we know, has, different retcons. He knew all of it. And I was just absolutely floored by that. And then to take it away from a big moment to a moment that became big, but it's not star power wise. We were on the line for Hall H, and the people in front of us, we started talking to them. These two nice females from England, and literally for hours having conversations about Lord of the Rings. They were fans, but they weren't deep lore fans. They were trying to get to know the deep lore, talking to them, and for them just being like, wow, and then literally running into them everywhere and becoming friends, exchanging information. That was such a highlight to me. I literally saw this young lady's jacket, and she had the Witch King of Angmar and also the Doors of Durin on her jacket, and I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. Where'd you do that? How'd you do that? And from there, they were awesome. Everywhere we went, we bumped into them. We had a rapport. It was awesome. That was like one of the best experiences there. So now that I've talked over long, Callie.
Talk forever.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember you showed us the jacket and I was like, that's just the coolest thing ever. And now everyone wants one. We're all inspired. We're like, how do we get how do we do that?
So yeah, so now that we talked about our favorite things from Comic-Con in the sense of what was our best moments and everything like that. Tell us about some of the people we got to meet at Comic-Con, stars or people that were maybe enamored by your presence, because that seemed to happen a lot with some people there.
Oh my gosh, I feel like who didn't we meet there?
Didn't we meet?
Like,
Yeah.
like
Genuinely.
literally everyone in the Tolkien community, like just, TikTok people was all just like, oh my God, Dawn and KnewBetta and Anna X. It was like, that was all just crazy. But then, yeah, like the whole cast of the Rings of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding? That's crazy.
Jed freaking Brophy.
Oh my gosh, Jed was amazing. I'm like
Amazing.
obsessed with him.
He's become a household name now in the
I
Tolkien.
know.
Everyone's like Jed Brophy, Jed Brophy, Jed Brophy.
I want to get Anna Maria's experience because I know her and Jed were vibing. They were vibing. So
Yeah, I saw a picture. You two were deep in conversation.
vibing. Like, tell me all about Jed Brophy.
Yeah, I got to, so yeah, I arrived at Comic-Con a couple days late because I had to deal with stuff in London. My family came to visit. It was really nice. We love that. But yeah, so I spent the first couple of days in like Hall H craze and like trying to figure out and like catching up on sleep from jet lag. And then I try to pop by the Torn booth, the OneRing.net as much as possible. And the only, the legend Jed Brophy was there. And we
Constantly.
really, just constantly.
Yep,
all day, every day.
The whole day, all day. Yeah.
All day. And it was really cool because I think like I have so much love for y'all as like artists and content creators and like the beautiful work you create online. And like, I'm going to take this moment, say like Lauren, KnewBetta, like y'all deserve these flowers you got at Comic-Con, and Callie, you're next. We're speaking into existence because you create such beautiful work also. And I think it was one of the only people there, not as a content creator. I'm there more for the community organizing side and the perspective I offer of like a critical analysis of Tolkien's works and then a really loving lens. And I was also there as like an actor, like providing these perspectives from like the entertainment industry side, which is especially relevant for the show, And so there was like another person there who was an actor. And so I got to like spend time with Jed Brophy, who comes from the franchises that are the reason I'm an actor. Like, it was like I was 7 when I read The Hobbit. I was 8, I think, when I watched Peter Jackson's trilogy. And that was what cemented what I had already suspected from watching some Harry Potter movies. Like as a kid, I was like, I want to do that. I want to tell stories on screen. And like anytime I've wavered in my my resolve to stay in the industry, I like watch those films, I watch those appendices, and like to share space with somebody who helped build that. And we just got to talk about art and like creating things. And it was just really, really special. And Jed is a brilliant, generous man who's so kind to engage with me in that way.
Yeah, he was like, because I got to spend some time talking with him as well, and just hearing him like casually tell on set stories from Lord of the Rings, I was just like, yeah, no, that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. Just gotta play it cool, like I'm not a total fangirl, He's like showing me, he had a ring on his thumb, and he was like, he took it off and he was like, oh yeah, they gave these to all the dwarves when we filmed The Hobbit, and it's got like this inscription on it, and he like hands it to me, and I'm like, that's really special. Thank you for showing that to me.
Yeah.
Like I'm freaking out.
I'm touching it. I'm touching it.
Yeah, I'm like trying not to drop it. Like, that's beautiful. Thank you. Like just like those, like you said, Anna Maria, like those little moments of just like, holy shit, I'm talking to Jed Brophy right now and he's like telling me about Viggo Mortensen, like I don't know how to handle this. So cool. And he really was just like so down to earth and nice. And like so the first day when I saw him there at the booth, I was like, Jed, can I get a picture with you? I was so nervous. And then the second day when I went back to the Torn booth, I had a bucket of margarita and I was like, Jed, my boy. Yeah, I was like, Jed, I was too nervous to tell you this yesterday, but my favorite scene in Two Towers is when the orcs are outside of Fangorn Forest and, you know, the we ain't had nothing but Magby bread for 3 stinking days scene. And so we start doing it like back and forth. Like, I was like, this is the best day of my life. And then by the end, it's like, we're like 3 hugs goodbye. Like, oh, Jed, it's so good to meet you and stuff. So yeah, that was so special.
Man. The man really, you know, really paid attention to you. Wasn't just, you know, just saying hi to say hi and keep you moving. You literally was like, hey, Willie, mate, come, you know, really paid attention, like really knew who you was. You know, it was mad humble in the sense to where, you know, this big star who's played all these different roles in the movie we're all here for. We're all here for that in the show that's coming out. The reason why we're here. And literally we'd be doing trivia and he'd be literally the lightest sight of line guy, like literally just helping out with things that I'm like, dude, you should be not you, man, you the star of this, man.
Yeah.
So helpful and everything, man. So that was quite the experience. So that was one of the highlights of our whole time there. And I'm so glad all of us had wonderful experience with a very hardworking, very funny, very down to earth, very good storyteller. The best stories I've heard, period, from anyone come from him. He has a story for everything, every situation, everything you could think of. He was there.
A legend. Awesome. And also, like, it just, if we're talking about people, I do just want to just briefly celebrate. I am Puerto Rican and Greek, and like, you know, we all know we've all the discourses about inclusion in Middle Earth and whatever, but like, I got to meet Ismail, who plays Arondir, we got a Puerto Rican elf in canon, baby.
So cool.
No, in the cinematic canon, nobody come for me. Everybody relax. Everybody relax. But no, it was just so cool. And he was like, yo, let's take a selfie. Like, this is so sick.
He came over to the booth.
Nice.
After we met him at the dinner, you weren't there, but he came over into the booth and was just chilling, like, yo, hey, let's take exactly how you said. Awesome, down to earth, really, really just amazing people that have these people who are of a stature to where most people don't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we look at them in a certain light. They're stars, they're actors. And for them to be so kind and down to earth is just very refreshing, all amazing. So it made our experience all the more better. Like everybody we were there with, we were also there with, Kelly.
Kelly, I love Kelly.
Is Rice her last name?
Kelly Rice, yeah.
Kelly Rice,
like happy Hobbit?
Yes.
Amazing author. Literally such a sweetheart, such a sweet person.
Loved her. I got to room with her and I was just like, I love you. We were both just like, because the first few days we were sort of like just seeing each other in passing, even though we were sharing a room, and it's like just so much was going on. And then by the last few days, it was like, I wish we had gotten to spend like way more time together here, because she was just wonderful. I loved her.
That was a highlight. Obviously, with the way Chris was there, awesome. Literally doing for free, doing Elven names for people, and was so humble and nice about it. It was so glad they got to experience Comic-Con. So that was a whole thing, and that was wonderful. And to have that experience for them, who was also a content creator, made me very happy, and I'm glad they got to experience that. And then Justin and my man Cliff, man, listen, these dudes are, first of all, Cliff swag is only eclipsed by Anna Maria swag. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Cliff is the coolest guy ever.
The coolest dude, yo.
Yeah.
Cliff is really cool, and the way Justin was just running everything and just very calm about it, and I commend him. Hats off to Justin. Thank you, Justin, for all that you did, all that you continue to do. You and Cliff both, man, honor and salute and much respect. Nothing literally overwhelmed them literally, and me and Cliff were just doing the trivia, and we were just on it, and it was awesome. And Justin's running the booth and running times and organizing rooms, and something need to be switched, and hey, we're eating here, we're doing this, and he just did it so seamlessly. It was amazing.
He's like a
man.
wizard for
He's a
real.
wizard. He's a wizard.
I keep saying he's Gandalf. This man will just like bring a fellowship together with gentle nudges. He just creates fireworks. He curates adventures and events. He'll say cryptic remarks that'll end up changing your life, and he disappears as mysteriously as he appears. He's never been seen in the same room as Gandalf the Grey, and that's not a
Yes.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
So yes, Kali, do you have any questions you would like to ask us? Because next time we're kidnapping you to Comic-Con, and you're definitely coming with us. Just full disclosure, Kali could have come, but Kali had some stuff going on. She had to take care of. She had to be the boss like she is, so she couldn't come. But next time when you do come, because you are coming, you got any questions that you would like to ask? Because it would be really cool to get questions from someone that wasn't there together, because we kind of know the experiences we had with each other, but so you got to get a fresh perspective from your viewpoint.
no pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I gotta flip it back on
down.
you guys. So
Buckling down.
So I've never been to any Comic-Con ever before, or Ren Fair. So but in October I am going to New York, and we're going to New York Comic-Con and New York Ren Fair. And I am like mega excited. So if you guys could give me one piece of advice for a first time for either of those like events, what would you
it's my whole life. It's what I live for.
I know Lauren's got this covered. Yeah.
Okay, are you dressing up for both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have been convinced. Yeah.
Okay. If you can make your costume as comfortable as possible, that's always a bonus.
Okay.
Because I've been to many a convention in like heinously uncomfortable costumes, and at first you're at home and you're like standing in it and you're like, it'll be fine, and then you get there and like all of your shit is falling apart and it's a nightmare. So like if it's your first time, I would definitely go for comfort over show. In both regards, because I don't know how New York will be in, you said October. That might be sort of cooler. Our Ren Fair is a huge, not problem, like we deal with it, but it's in the dead of summer right now, so it's so hot, so you have to like really be careful about
not be hot in New York.
Okay, well that's even better. Ooh, you can do a cloak moment. Yeah, I'm so jealous.
We love a cloak moment.
I love a cloak. Yeah,
and no cloak moments happening in July in Colorado Ren Fair. So yeah, you're gonna be walking a lot, so some comfortable shoes, lots of water. And just like try to have, embrace all the moments and have fun, and don't be afraid to talk to people. Like if like someone has an awesome outfit, just be like, your outfit is so cool, and like people love that, and you never know what sort of conversation it will spark.
Okay, I think needed to hear that last one definitely, because like if I'd seen you, I would have been too shy. Like
I get that all the time. People tell me that all the time. They're like, I saw you at the Ren Fair, but I was too shy to say anything. I'm like shoving potatoes in my mouth. Like, you don't need to be scared to say hi to me.
That's right.
Awesome. Comfort.
Very approachable. Yes.
Yeah.
I my advice from doing my first Comic-Con, which was San Diego ComicCon, just go with the flow. People there's already a culture built around these Comic-Cons. They've done this for years now. People know what to do. Get with somebody who knows what they're doing, and just literally acclimate yourself. Just roll with it, and don't overthink anything. Don't think that, just be accommodating and kind like you are, and respectful of everybody. Everybody is given that same vibe for the most part, where everybody's respectful of each other's space and everything, and helpful. When you help out somebody, they're going to help out you. Do that, and everything will be cool. And know that you're going to be standing in lines and things like that. It's part of the culture of the Comic-Con. So You know what I mean? Just be very patient and just be like, have a good time while you're there. And then you
Yeah.
come to find out it won't even bother you that you're in line because you're having such great conversations and talk. And then you saw this person and then this happened and there was a meteorite that fell from the sky. And crazy stuff happens and literally it's amazing. So, we'd be in line and then a star will walk by and we end up talking. It's like stuff like that just happens in like, you know what I mean? So just don't overthink it and be overwhelmed by it. There's nothing to be overwhelmed by. It's just let it be fun because it is amazingly fun.
Yeah, this was also my first Comic-Con, which is like a very intense first Comic-Con.
Oh my god.
It's a big one.
A big one for sure. Like all the
Wow.
things. Just like seconding what everyone said and also being like mentally preparing to just like not sleep like that. It's because this is going to be so condensed and you're not going to want to miss a second of it. So just really like stock up on sleep leading up to the con and then just be ready to rage for several days because there's nothing really like it, like you're going to want to attend the after events, you're going to want to attend as many panels as possible, you're going to want to talk to all these people. And as for the run fair, not to brag, but I'm from Houston, Texas, and Texas actually has the biggest Renaissance fair in the United States. So like
everything's bigger in Texas. Whoa.
saying, and I would say
the food would be good.
The food's gonna be good. The run fair attire is gonna be amazing. I would say like my favorite part of fair isn't actually the shows. I think a lot of people like go to fairs and are like, okay, let's see like the whip cracking guy and like the falcon and like those are staples. Like you want to but like dedicate time to seeing the shops because my favorite part of Ren Fair is the artisans who practice these like in some ways dying crafts that deserve to still live. You have like all of these people who practice medieval artistry and it's so precious and cool, and it's so cool talking to the shopkeepers and their craft, and it's amazing. So like definitely dedicate time to just walking around without a plan. That's my favorite.
I always make a point to like, if I'm ever at a new fair, I'm walking the full thing. I'm stopping at every shop because there's people like hand anviling like coins and shit. It's like, there's all sorts of, like you said, like artisan makers there. And again, I second you on the getting sleep because literally San Diego ComicCon, I think I got 4 hours of sleep every night, 5 nights in a row. I'm like 4 hours of sleep. I was so tired by the end of it.
Jeez.
The sleep thing was not, I was literally, we would get invited to these parties and first of all, they were dope. That Paper Girls party was fire.
You love that.
I love the party because I'm old. So I was vibing with the nostalgia of the party. It was like 80s and 90s. So I was automatically like, I love nostalgic things. And they were giving us like Dunkaroos and push pops and shit. When I was a kid, I was like, yo, I'm pretty sure I said to Anna Maria like 50 times, yo, get a push pop. And she was like, what?
Paper Girls.
I'm like, yo.
I didn't even go to that party and I can't stop playing with this stupid slapper.
And I just watched the show, by the way, which is amazing. Love it. So you'll be up and like you'll be done with Comic-Con, but you're not done with Comic-Con. Like if New York Comic-Con is anything like San Diego, it takes over the whole area. So
it does.
Everything is Comic-Con. So literally restaurants you would go to is Comic-Con. You go after that, it's a party, then it's another party. Just let yourself go and have a good time, but also know when to stop. I literally was like, guys, I'm sorry, I'm old. Good night.
I gotta go.
Out of everybody, I was like, all right, I'm out of here. Everybody else still doing stuff. I'm like, I'm sleeping. I'm almost. I can't do it. Can't hang with you kids no more. So, but it was amazing. So just let yourself have a good time, pace yourself, and just have a ball. And give yourself a day. One of the days, dedicate to just going around the con, going to the shops, and doing stuff. Give yourself a day. It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like sprinting around the actual convention floor because it was like Friday, Hall H, Middle Earth Moon.
Yeah.
And then, like, Saturday, I was like, I gotta get some sleep. And it was like, I gotta go to this panel.
Yeah.
My panel. And I'm like power walking through the con floor. I'm like, I gotta see the booths. I came to Comic-Con. Like, absolutely give yourself a little bit of time.
Her one sleeping moment when I caught her sleeping in the
Listen.
she wasn't sleeping. I'm like, I'm looking dead at you. She's like,
I
know
got
that-
bullied. I got bullied for taking one power nap on a couch.
No,
Sue
you
me.
gotta do what you gotta
Sue
do.
me.
It's funny. If you was there, it was hilarious. I was like, "Yo, you was dead sleep just now." She was like, "I'm resting
No.
my eyes."
She just had her just a prolonged
funny.
wink. That's
Yeah.
that's just
That's my
all it
impression.
was.
That's my impression of Anna Maria. She's very handsy when she speaks and she does hand gestures.
And
when she
she
goes to, like, stop you from saying-
speaks.
She literally just and it's hilarious. So I appreciate that very much. That was one of my highlights as well. So
I'm good
guys,
at
what are some of your experiences as females within the fandom and the culture of Lord of the Rings? Give
You
us some
said
of your
hard left.
We're taking it. We're and we're
Like,
This has all
pivoting.
been too upbeat. You
Pivot,
need to put this in the
pivot,
dumps.
pivot.
Yeah.
Let's get this over with. No, I'm really curious. I've gotten perspective from Kali about being a cosplayer and also being in the fandom as well. But Kali is one person after all, so we like to get one more than just her opinion, as well as her opinion. Your opinion, someone who's from Texas and lives in London, and then we got Miss Colorado over here. So we're all from different spaces. Callie is from Canada, which is it's Canada, so nobody really cares. But
Damn.
Just end a sentence. Just
Slander.
I'm just joking. Just all jokes. Canada, love you. I'm gonna visit one day. But yeah, so let's get some different perspectives on being a female in this fandom, because I know it can be awesome doing cosplays and have everybody. But then I'm sure there's times where it's a little aggravating, having people maybe objectify you in a way, or having people just maybe dismiss you because they think that females' voices or opinions don't matter, which is a bunch of bullshit. In this fandom, we have the unique. I don't even say unique, but it's kind of unique in Tolkien's writing, where there's a lot of people say in his first books, females didn't get the shine. You know what I mean? But where in the Silmarillion, I feel like he rectified that a lot. So that goes along with the fandom as well. So how do you guys feel about being females in this fandom?
Well, I think it's important to point out that in real life, like real life interactions, I have only ever experienced the most amazing people. And like I have within the Tolkien fandom specifically, it can get a little dicey in the real world with Star Wars fandom. So you got to kind of roll out of that one.
Me with D&D.
Yeah. But like in real life, Tolkien fans are like genuinely the nicest people I've ever met. Now online, we all know they come out. The trolls come out.
We never see the trolls in real life, because I've only had positive interactions in real life, like you said. So I know what you mean.
Yeah. So online, you get from. I don't even know what their deal is, because the women in Tolkien's world are all badasses, but then they like, especially because I've been doing this Galadriel cosplay and she's got a sword and it's all like, women can't have swords, no, and it's like, why? Wow. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Like they get all up in arms about like them not being in a dress, it's like, okay, Galadriel can be in something other than just like a shiny white dress, and the shiny white dress is incredible and I love it, but like, can we broaden
she
our?
To help her accent, she wasn't in the white sounding dress. I promise you that.
She wasn't like an evening gown during Crisis. Like,
they're like, well, she'd be using magic. It's like, okay, but probably in pants. Like she's not like, you're being ridiculous. Yeah. So there's a lot of that. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of like assumption that we don't know anything. We're not real fans. Like because I do a lot of stuff. I've got I collect swords from Lord of the Rings. So in a lot of my videos, I have like
I'm very jealous, by the way.
I've got all my swords behind me. And I get people that are like men in my comments that are trying to like quiz me. Like they don't think I know what I have kind of mentality. God. And it's like, they'll be like, oh, you've got Glamdring. And I'm like, oh no, it's Strider's sword. And they're like, no. I'm like, I bought it. I know what it is.
Like I'm touching it right here.
Yeah, and so like that mentality can be so frustrating. Just like definitely being mansplained in my own comments about like things that I own, is just like, I can't stand that. And yeah, and then of course there's been all this like grossness with the new show coming out, and like the misogynists are really out in full force on the internet. But like
one thing I say, I don't mean to cut you off, I apologize.
Oh,
I just
you're
wanted to let you know that, but your presence is very needed, and it literally combats all the nonsense. So you even getting a space, which you have your own space, of course, but coming on here and talking about it, and literally how comical you make and dumb you make people when they say stuff like that sound. So thank you for your voice, and continue on. I apologize, I didn't mean to overspeak you.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I think people always say to like not engage with trolls, but I think there's two very different types of comments that you get. Like if people are just dumb, like I'll often respond and just like make them feel as dumb as they are. But if someone's being nasty, blocked. Don't need to hear, you're not welcome in my space. I hope you never see my content ever again. Like I'm a big proponent of the block button. I use it often and on every platform, because like if someone even comes in my comments and I don't like their tone, blocked. You're out of here. I do not accept your presence here. So that's definitely my internet hack for everyone, is to just block people and not be afraid of like what people might think of you, or like anything like that. It's just like, if you suck, fuck you, you're gone. I don't need you here.
Exactly.
So that's how I deal with men on the internet.
I'm lucky in that like I'm not a Lord of the Rings specific content creator. I speak out about a lot of things on my platforms, and so occasionally that is Tolkien's Legendarium. And it definitely is such a stark contrast between real life and online. Online, there's like a lot of, it's either like insulting compliments, like weird, it's like, you should be quiet, but like, I want to have sex with you.
Right.
Like sexualization via silencing. I'm like, okay. It's like immediate. I think a lot of the misogyny that doesn't, because like the blatant misogyny is easy to like identify, but a lot of the misogyny that doesn't get counted because it's not as blatant is the like immediate dismissal of like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like you are a fake fan, you are XYZ, you don't look like somebody who, and of course that's only exacerbated when like racialized misogyny comes into it. Like even the one of the first live streams I ever did, I think it was like a live reaction to the first Amazon Prime trailer. It was just like a lot of comments about my appearance and like, does she know her stuff, like that sort of thing. In real life, I would say like so many lovely interactions, sometimes some awkwardness of like, I see like an uncertainty on how to engage with me. It's like, is she like a Tolkien fan? Like why is she here? That more like, that more like subconscious, like why is she here? But just so kind actually in person. I think the thing that doesn't get talked about as much is like how we're often outnumbered in these physical spaces. Like I haven't really talked about this publicly, but like I felt a lot of pressure going into the panel, being like, I've got to hold it down next to the boys, you know what I mean? Like I was like, I'll be held to like a different standard, a different level of criticism. Like I really got to be on my stuff. I was like, instead of focusing on finals, y'all, I was fully like going over my freaking Silmarillion Unfinished Tales appendices flashcards. I was like, they can't catch me slipping. They can't do it.
Because you have the added pressure of like, if you say something wrong or even slightly, not perfect, it's like you're gonna be the one that people in the comments are like, this bitch doesn't know anything, and it's like
only exacerbated when it's racialized. So it's like so many things. But like
I hear you. I made a mistake when I said something on the panel. I was like, oh my God, anybody that watches that is going to be like, they killed. I said Celebrimbor made 16 of the Rings of Power. I'm like, I meant to say 19. You know what I'm saying?
Idiot.
And I'm like, oh my God,
Big
I'm
fan,
gonna,
big fan.
Cut off.
You know what I'm saying? But then I was like, you know what? My work and talent speaks for itself, and very much so your guys does too. Now I'm gonna full disclosure here because I literally was talking to Kali right before this, and I told her, I said, yo, I don't know if I want to talk about anything heavy like or anything like that. I didn't want to do it because I wanted to go with the light, you know, because we talk about those things so much on our podcast and they needed to be talked about. But at the same time, I didn't want to like only do that and then feel like, oh, like I'm being like this is a drab. We're only talking about serious subjects. I was like, let's balance it out. And I full disclosure, I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to talk about anything where negative or you know, let's just have a good vibe. But then I thought about it and I was like, who the fuck am I to not speak about not let you guys speak about your experiences, negative or good. We got to bring light to that stuff. And I'm nobody, and I don't know, maybe shouldn't say it like that or, you know, try to sweep it under the rug. It can't get swept under the rug. It's important. You know what I'm saying? We're having fun in what we're doing. And we can do both. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little ashamed of myself for even saying that. I didn't like saying it, but I was thinking of it a different way. But now that I think about it, it's like kind of like yucky, like, man, let's talk about it. If you guys have had negative experiences, I don't want to silence. I want to be the person to silence you, even though I wasn't doing it in a misogynistic way. I just didn't want to, you know.
You don't want to like bring down the vibe, but I think it's great that
like,
you're,
you know.
Yeah, I think it's great that you're willing to let us talk about it because I think a lot of times as women in this fandom, it can be very isolating sometimes because we all sort of deal with it. And we all sort of feel like we're just like, well, I guess I'm not really welcome here. But like, there is such a huge community of women in the Lord of the Rings fandom. And
yeah, and you guys like hold pretty much everything together. Like I said, I'd be in shambles for Kali. So it's like really weird for anybody to say that because the people that really be holding it down and doing the most stuff are females, just like Varda, just like, you know what I'm saying, Lady Halith, and you know what I'm saying, Melian, like they was holding it down. Like really, if anybody had listened to Melian, we wouldn't be in the mess that we're in the third age or the second age. And if they'd listened to her, a lot of shit wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? Lady Halith, literally the reason you get the people of Halith, and they were able to, you know, occupy the forest of Brethel, and she didn't want help from anybody or nothing. She stood on her own too. You know what I'm saying? We all know Eowyn, and we look at Galadriel, very much learned. It's a literally a whole character arc there. Her learning, going through something, not necessarily making the right decision at first, but gaining that wisdom and then imparting it on everyone else, and then bestowing gifts and things like that. So it's like the ladies were doing what they do. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the men were doing
when people
they kind of had to. But the ladies
when
were
people
holding it
think
down.
of the Tolkien fandom, it's very much, I think we all sort of see a vision of a panel of white men, you know, so I think it's really cool that it's being like new faces are being brought into it. And like, I think I totally can like identify with how you were feeling, Anna Maria. And I wasn't even on the panel, but like, even just coming to this event, like with the OneRing.net and like knowing that all these Tolkien creators were going to be there, because I'm not like a lore expert by any stretch of the imagination. So I was like, ooh, there's gonna be some people that know a lot of stuff and I'm gonna look like an idiot because I'm just like a movie girl, you know? And so that was really intimidating for me because you don't want to feel like you're an idiot, like in this group of people. So I can definitely identify with you there.
Oh, and even like as somebody who like, I don't know if I would like go on record calling myself an expert, but as somebody who's like obsessed over the lore since I was like a young kid, like I had to keep reminding myself of like, these folks aren't going to be like on the panel, on camera, like recite the entire lineage of Durin's line right now. Like
the first five are easy.
Exactly. So it's like recite every elvish heritage ever, you know, it's like they're not going to do that. Like they're on my side. Like I had to remind myself that a lot of it is like pressure I've learned to exert on myself to be like perfect and you know, and speaking of like new faces being introduced, it's like it's not like a thing of like we're forcing inclusion now. We've always been here. We've always been here, and now we're just visible for the first.
Literally.
and very much
Yeah.
deserved to be. You know what I'm saying? So
Period.
it's a wonderful way to segue into the panel, which was a huge part of Comic-Con. Literally, Callie just watched the panel,
I
so I
did.
want to get her opinion of the panel before we talk about it. So Callie, what did you think of our panel? Me and Anna Maria on the panel. Lauren, you had
I was in
fanfare.
the front row. I was in the front row, okay? I was watching as well. I saw
Lauren
Watching.
got all the
clapping.
fanfare, so we're gonna leave her out of this one. Now, I want to get your opinion as well. But Callie, what did you think of the panel?
I mean, I obviously really enjoyed it because I like have come to know and really like everybody who was on it. It was definitely an all-star
Mhm.
panel for sure. I really liked how yeah, you guys just kind of kept it real. Like at the beginning, there was like maybe some like nervousness a bit, but then there was just, I don't know, some turning point at partway through the panel, and everyone just got really comfortable and just started joking and like talking between each other, but without cutting each other off, which was really cool to see, and that's really rare to see also. um but yeah, I really liked it, and you were really funny, KnewBetta. You made
My
some
fiance
great
said that
points in
last night.
hilarious ways.
I'm like, what do you mean funny? Funny how? Funny how?
Funny how?
Like,
Am
Funny,
I a
haha.
joke to
I was
you?
watching it with her last night, and she was like, "You think you're funny, don't you?" And I was like, "Why does everybody keep saying I'm funny? like what? What is this? This is like
I
an
think
insult without
You're not
insulting."
afraid to just say things in,
Yeah.
I don't know, like the code switching, right? Like to
Mhm.
go from Tolkien's like kind of lofty way that he has of speaking and then just bring it down to today's verbiage is always very funny. It tickles my sense of humor anyway.
Yeah,
But
it's
then
an
Anna Maria,
effortless
you were
funny.
amazing too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and but Anna Maria, you spoke so well, and you had like amazingly insightful thoughts and progressive, like, encouragements for the fandom, and that
And
like
you really are
really
good at
touched me.
articulating yourself. Like you articulated your points amazingly, and it was like, wow, like you know what I'm saying. Like if anybody had any doubts of female inclusion or that she deserved to be on this panel, she's shining right now. So let me show you why
Yeah.
she's here for. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Yeah.
amazing. So thank you for that because you brought like loveliness and grace and straight knowledge bombs of inclusion, of understanding, like literally understanding his works and how they apply to the real world today. You literally weaved it together effortlessly, and it was awesome to hear. And it was like, I
Oh
couldn't have said that
yeah.
better if I tried.
Oh yeah, it
Like
was like
that's
stand
what
up
I
and
was
clap
feeling.
like
I was like,
moment. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
like this is
Yeah.
awesome. So thank
Yeah.
It
you for
was
that. It was
thank
very
you.
much needed.
Thank you. It was crazy because like I said, I read The Hobbit first time when I was 7, and then I watched the trilogy when I was 8, and then I read the trilogy when I was 9, and then I tried to read the Silmarillion when I was 10. It didn't work. It didn't work.
It wasn't
A
right for
couple
me
of
back
years
then.
passed. A couple of years passed, and I got like determined that I was gonna know Tolkien's Legendarium the way I knew Harry Potter as a kid. And so I sat down with like a map open and then like a secondary copy of the Silmarillion open to the glossary and then a main copy of the Silmarillion open to the text. And I was 12 years old. I was like, I'm gonna get this. And then
Wow.
like, I've read all the supplementary texts ever since. And so it was like, okay, going in, I was like, I gotta show that I know the stuff, but also like talk about the important stuff that's not just plain lore too, because I feel like we really lost the plot about being good people to each other. Like it's not even about identity anymore. It's like, have we tried being decent? Like why are we arguing about Tolkien's hypothetical opinion about elves being XY? It's like, can we get down to what is important? And like the fact that we could be a community if we chose to be, and we are not being good community members to each other right now.
Yeah.
Just like it was really nice to get the chance to publicly try to recalibrate in a way that I hope was received by people even who maybe weren't on that wavelength beforehand. I'm just like, you know?
I got a few good feedbacks from people, and they were like, I was able to change their mind on certain things, and the way I said certain things, they never looked at it like that, and it was so refreshing to get that, and I was like, wow, and I thank them for sending me those messages, and I was very proud to that they even considered me able to even be someone who they listen to and change their thought process. So I was honored to do that. Lauren, you were in the crowd, front row, as you said so eloquently. What did you think of the panel? What did you think about everything, how it went down?
I loved it. Like I said, I'm not the lore expert of the group. So I was saying this to KnewBetta just like as we were walking around the convention one day. And I was saying how much his videos have helped. Because like I've read the Silmarillion and I tell people this, I didn't like it. It's not one that's for me. And I say this to people all the time. I'm like, I can tell that the stories are there and they're amazing, but it's just written in such an unapproachable way. And it's just not a way that I find easy to consume media. So like I've read it and I was like, nope, that wasn't really for me. But like hearing KnewBetta talk and hearing like in extension, hearing you guys talk on the panel, it's like you all make it so approachable to like, I wouldn't call myself a general audience because I'm like, probably more than that, but like
You're out here.
You do make it more approachable to a general audience to understand and be excited about. Like I came home and I told my husband, I was like, I think I want to try to read the Silmarillion again, which was like, which I had said, like, and I have like 50 copies of the Silmarillion, like fake fan alert, I know, but like, that was one that I read and I was like, I'm never reading that shit again. But then like, after hearing everyone's passion and like hearing you describe this, just hearing you tell the stories in like real people words is like, okay, well, damn, maybe I need to give it another shot and like, and maybe do it with like a companion, because I know a lot of people do like companion reading, like sort of breaking it down. Because when I read it, my husband and I read it at the same time, and we would read a chapter. We're like, okay, we'll read a chapter and then we'll discuss, and we'd both read a chapter and just be like,
yeah,
I don't even know what happened.
That is the appropriate reaction.
Yeah, it's just like I literally, maybe I just don't have the reading comprehension skills, but like, goddamn, I could not follow that,
It's
so
tough.
like, that was definitely my takeaway from the panel was just like, oh, hearing you guys talk about it, and it's gonna be so funny for me because like I don't really know what happens in the second age, so like good. and I've gotten a lot of it from listening to the panel and hearing everyone talk, and you guys already like know the story, so you're like, oh man, like some shit's about to happen, and I'm like okay, spoiler alert, like damn, like to me it feels like a new story, but like I really want to get more into the lore of all of it.
That's super high praise.
You just even saying that, like, it's giving me life. Like it's getting me excited. And even though you don't like the Silmarillion, which is understandable, it took me initially 5 times to be able to get through the book. And then once I got through it, the final time, then something just snapped
It
in me.
clicked.
And then it
really
just was
clicks.
like,
It really
what?
does that.
This is everything. So I tell people this all the time. My favorite book is The Hobbit. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's a clean adventure from beginning to end. The whole encompasses it's just a vibe. It's that's your favorite. Easiest to digest, fun.
Yeah.
It's everything. It has everything in it. The meat and potatoes, what you appreciate and everybody consumes is the Lord of the Rings. It has it connections with everything. It is the definitive work of Tolkien in the sense of where everybody, even from kids to adults, this is the one that you want, right? It may not be your favorite because The Hobbit's so fun and everything and easy, but we know that this is the work, right?
Lord of the Rings is that bitch. I think
she's
that girl.
She's that girl.
If you're able to get through the Silmarillion and you're able to understand it, it is the best work. It is literally what I tell people to do if they can understand the Silmarillion, read the Silmarillion, and then read the Lord of the Rings, and then you'll appreciate the Lord of the Rings so
Yes.
much more after you
Yes.
read the Silmarillion. There are things that you read in the Lord of the Rings that you don't pay a shit to, like you don't pay no attention to. You're really
Yeah.
like in passing, like, oh yeah, I don't know what that means, but cool. And you go and you go. When you read the Silmarillion, you literally like your mind is like, what?
It's like on every page. There's like a mention. There's like a mention of ancient lore on like every page in passing. It'll be like a word, and you're like, oh my God, this universe is so expansive. Like it's so like
It's
that.
so
And like
crazy.
unfinished tales is also gas. Unfinished tales.
Yes,
is
it's
also-
gas. It's gas.
Yeah.
Like there's a part in the Return of the King, and literally Gandalf is riding with Pippin to Minas Tirith, and they're on the horse, and he's like, yeah, this is this mountain and whatever, blah blah blah, and then he's like, yeah, the 7 seeing stones, like he's like, yeah, they do messages like this, but they back in the day they didn't need to because they had the Plantier, and you're like, you saw the seeing stone in the 2 towers, and you're like, okay, Plantier, who gives a shit? And then he's like, yeah, I think Feanor made them back then, da 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 da, and then you're like, okay, well, I don't know who Feanor is, but cool, and go about your business. Then you read who the Feanor is, and you're like, yo, that is definitely
that is a name
this
drop.
is definitely, yo, this is it. Like, what? He made them. It makes sense. And it makes perfect sense. Everything connects. It is crazy. Like, you go to Gimli's poem in Khazad-dûm, and literally the poem is cool, but you don't know the names he's dropping. You don't really get it. You're like, all right, this is some ancient shit that I don't know. And then you're in these places. In the Silmarillion, and you're like, oh snap! You know the history, you know the meaning. You know when he says, back when Nargothrond and Gondolin, and you're like, yo, Gondolin is that place. Gondolin is it. I know what he's talking about. He's not just saying. So these swords is from Gondolin. With the sword Gandalf has, sword Bilbo, they're from Gondolin. You're like, that's cool. But when you read the Silmarillion, like, yo, that is it. That is the shit. Glamdring is my favorite sword. Gondolin is it. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really understand, and you're like, yo, this is crazy. So,
okay, because see, don't scroll too far back on my Twitter, because I've definitely hate tweeted about the Silmarillion before.
Oh, that's okay.
But
here's
the thing. I've always, whenever people say that the Silmarillion is their favorite Tolkien book, I'm like, red flag, you're a liar. I don't believe you. You're telling me a lie right now. But like now, I'm sort of like, oh shit, I think I get it.
It's like the depth and majesty and scope, because like we touched on this on the panel about how Hobbit and Rings is like this.
Yeah, it's like a blink.
And then the zoom out, like it's like, oh my God, there's so much, which is one of the reasons it's so overwhelming, right? Because it's like, all right, we're gonna cover like 1,000 years in like 2 pages. We're just gonna throw it
at
you. Pretty much. Yeah, it's literally
because it'll spend like half a page saying like him, son of him, and then like 50 different ways to spell their name, and they'll be like, and then they defeated Balrog, and you're like, could we have gotten a little bit more on that? Like, why did we spend so much time on this? And then you told the story too short.
It actually isn't, because all the stories are interconnecting, and the consequences, it really isn't. It's actually really detailed. It's actually kind of uber detailed when you really think about it. So there's a chapter where everybody says, I hate this chapter, where I can't remember her name, but I was on her podcast. She was on it, and
Mary Clay Watt.
Yes. And she was like, I hate this chapter. And I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about as one of my favorite chapters. And I understand why people hate it. But literally, if you read that chapter and you open the map, and then you pay attention to the battles and where everything is, you're like, it's a godsend.
I'm actually very familiar with maps. The maps.
Yeah, I would say reading. I would say keep it, not even just for that chapter, keeping a map on deck for the whole of the Silmarillion, because it just allows. First of all, this is actually a real hack. It is so much so, like, to passively understand, like, and absorb and memorize just a list of names is very difficult for human beings in general. But whenever you're tracking them on the map, and you remember, like, okay, this person is a Nargothrond, this person is, you know what, it's like you have a visual in your head which lets you memorize the names, which lets you understand the stories. That's the hack.
Yeah.
That's
and,
the
and,
act,
Yeah.
straight up.
and
Yeah.
families, it's not just like random. When you're thinking about it, you might just be like name. Remember, they're families and kingdoms, and when you get that in your head, you're like, oh, these elves live here. These elves live here. These elves don't even fuck with these elves. You know what I mean? Like there's three sets. There's three groups of humans.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. They live here. Like, okay, so then the names become so much easier. Like a lot of people don't know the Seven Sons of Feanor. Like you break it down a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like 2 M's, 3 C's, and 2 A's. You do it that way.
Yeah.
And then you can just get them, and then you're like, oh shit, this is actually pretty easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I'll
boom,
give
boom,
it
boom.
another shot. Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
we'll
with
start a
another
group chat.
Yeah.
I'll
Good
consult.
word.
Well,
We're
I
like
love it.
prophets.
Be here to
Prophet.
encourage you.
Good word.
So
What'd you say, Anna
as
Maria?
we nerd you to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, because
We're literally-
I wanna be a lore girl, and I want to be like all smart and cool sounding like you guys. So I'll work
well,
with it.
we literally have each other's information, and I would love to literally teach you. I would literally go super hamburger. So also,
We'll
if it's hard
we'll
for you
have
to digest
personal
reading,
consultations.
it's okay to listen to audiobooks. Don't let anybody tell you audiobook isn't a read.
Yeah.
That's
There's some great
ableist,
ones.
Everybody
quite
learns
frankly.
differently.
It is yeah.
Yeah. So
And
I'm a
also-
reader, but I'm also a listener. I'm very auditory as well. So I read it, and then when I'm at work to digest things that maybe I didn't digest when I read, I listen to also.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly fine. Don't let anybody tell you your way of getting something. So
Yeah.
I also always recommend Martin Shaw version of the Silmarillion. It is read so grandly and so majestically. It's amazing. He doesn't pronounce everything right, but neither do I. So I don't pronounce it. And I know I'm pronouncing shit wrong, but I've gotten to the point where it's like I speak a certain way. I'm from New York. I'm not doing it.
And like once you have it in your head of how something is pronounced, someone can tell you how it's right, and it's like, no, sorry,
No,
that's how
to me.
I'm saying Hermione in my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. and also like since you mentioned like you enjoy like the breakdowns, I think Don Marshall are being at Don Marshall 72. Y'all follow him. I think he's done like a whole series like Silmarillion Sundays on YouTube where he like reads it and like we'll take a pause and he'll be like, all right, let's take a breath, let's unpack what just happened. And I like that might be an
I think that's how I need to do it, because it's just a lot to like read and be like, okay, just understand it.
Yeah.
Every Monday we're going to start again because we've been very busy. So every Monday we read a chapter from the Silmarillion. So Kali does the reading and I do the breakdown of what is read.
Shit.
So
Okay.
it's usually at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Anna Maria.
Eastern Daylight Time actually would be what we are at right now. But,
I'm working in 8 different time zones and I can't do it. I give up.
Yeah. No, the fandom is amazing, but split across all the time zones. It's hard to schedule things, but it's amazing. It's so awesome. All right, NewBetta, do you have questions for the guests before we let them go
before we let them get back to their regular scheduled programming? Guys, it's been a pleasure having you. I do have a question for each of you, which is the same question. So I'm going to ask you, and you can pick anybody out of any race of Middle Earth to answer these questions. So usually, sometimes I'll say, oh, only an elf or only a Valar, only a Maiar. But you know what? I'm going to give you guys leeway to pick anybody. So first question is going to be, if you could marry anyone from the Lord of the Rings, any race, who would it be? Second question is, if you second question is, if you could pick anyone to protect you, who would it be? And then the last question is, if you could fight anyone from the Lord of the Rings Legendarium, who would it be? And it could be from any first age, second age, third age, doesn't matter. Any throughout the entire Legendarium. It could be Eru Ilúvatar himself. It could be anybody. Who would it be? So who would you marry? Who would you have protect you? And who would you fight? So Anna Maria, who are your 3?
Who would I marry? Oh my God. Okay. Everybody calm down. I've got to answer. This is such a difficult question. I am kind of in love with, in my head, here's my thing. I always pronounce it Gil-galad because in the movies it was Galadriel. And I really thought Probably Gilgalad. If I could have anyone to protect me, if I could have anyone to protect me. Okay. Am I gonna go Am I gonna go elf, or am I gonna go Valar? Because like it feels like I should have like a deity, like an angelic being, to protect me. Oh my God. Or maybe I have Húrin protect me. I'll have Húrin protect me. Let's just go with that. What was the last one? I'm panicking.
Yo,
You
that's
know
a
what I'm
good
saying?
one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a new
Yo, the
choice.
vibes.
Okay.
Yo, that's a good choice right there.
I like
You know,
Húrin.
when he pick up that axe, it's going
Over.
down.
Yeah.
Over.
Ain't nobody getting to you. Like it's super. That's a super answer right there.
And what was the last question? I'm so stressed
Would you
out.
want
Who
to
would you
kill
fight?
like in a
Who would you
fight?
wanna
We did
fight?
not mean to do this to you. I feel really bad right now.
Is this like get in a fight like just for funsies,
For
or like
fun?
who do
No,
you
you
think
don't
you
like
could
them.
take on?
You don't like them, so you want to fuck them up. Like they get on your nerves.
Here's the
Okay.
thing. I know Feanor is a three-dimensional character, and he's responsible for the creation of like beautiful
Nah,
things, whatever. But like I'm sick and tired of Feanor.
Man,
You know what?
fuck
You know
Feanor.
why?
Punch
You
him
know
in his
why
mouth.
I have. First of all, I mean, there are a lot of reasons to be mad at Feanor. Okay, this is not an original answer, but here's my thing. What really gets me, I am like a Yavanna stan, okay?
Mhm.
And like the moment when Yavanna was like, yo, we could save the trees if you give us the Silmarils.
And he was like,
bitched
nah.
out. That caused, like, he did more despicable things than that. Like the kinslaying is objectively more ethically wrong, but like when he chose
Like,
not to save
really?
the light,
You
of
wouldn't even have this light if it wasn't for me. The
Like,
nerve.
the disrespect, the gall, the audacity,
Yo,
I
and
can't
yo,
stand it. And
yo,
he's
the
gonna get
way
his second chance.
Tokus was about to press him, Anna Maria. Tokus was like, say yay or nay. Like, what are you talking about? What you mean? Like,
I'm fired up right now. And then he's gonna get a second chance. He's gonna get a second chance with the last great remaking of the world. No,
we
just
don't
take
care.
it.
We don't
care.
like you.
I'm over it. I could do it. I would fight and I would win. Put that on the record.
Oh.
Lauren, who would you
All
marry?
right, we're
Who would
fired
you have
up.
protect you?
Sorry,
And who would you fight?
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep it to Lord of the Rings because that's more my wheelhouse.
That's
Yeah.
perfectly okay.
Okay, I know that I immediately said Aragorn
Okay.
You did very immediately
for
say Eric.
obvious reasons, but he's got some commitment issues and he's very tied up with another woman. So
Okay.
I don't really want to get involved in that. I don't want to be the Éowyn in that situation. So I think I have to go with, I'm going to marry Samwise Gamgee.
Okay.
You are choosing stability. You are choosing love. You are choosing wellness. I love
The
that.
I mean,
Shire,
poor
like,
Rosie.
Fierceness.
okay, we're dismissing Rosie from the
We're
conversation.
just okay.
We're writing her out. We're writing her out of the canon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The man can cook. The man can cook. He can garden. He can grow.
Yeah.
He's
Man, what
loyal,
you
he's honest, he's loving.
got? Yeah, he's
Samwise
that guy.
Gamgee.
Samson.
Very good answer.
Who would what was the second one?
Have protect you.
Ooh, okay. I think Gandalf, because he's gonna leave you in some pickles every now and again, but I don't think he ever leaves anyone in a situation that they can't handle in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
He's got sword, he's got magic, and he's got, he's got hierarchy. Everyone knows who he is. No one's really fucking with Gandalf.
He's got clout.
And if you do, he's got some clout. And
Clout.
if you do fuck with him, like, he's probably gonna win. So I think I'd like to be under Gandalf's wing.
Okay. Okay.
And who would I fight?
Who don't you like? Who's just like, ugh, I'm gonna punch them in their mouth.
KnewBetta is so messy. He's like, I want to get let's get into it.
I would like to, if I could fight Gollum without fighting Smeagol,
Oh.
because Smeagol's just this tragic little fella. I love him. His eyes get all big. He's my best
He
friend.
does.
Gollum is such a piece of shit. I hate him so much. He's so cruel and awful and nasty.
Yeah.
But there's no harming one without harming the other. So I guess my second runner-up would be the Witch King.
Oh my God.
Have my own
Ooh.
I am no man moment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Understandable. He's a bad guy. He's a bad dude. But
Yeah.
that's my guy.
Okay, I will say his drip, immaculate.
Oh,
Yeah.
flawless.
Oh,
Disturbing looks.
Every villain has got the drip, and I love it.
I'm obsessed. But that being
Immaculate.
said, a nightmare of an entity we hate.
Very, very much so. Very much so.
Lauren has
Oh.
just run off screen to get something, I feel like.
Or they like ants or something, or the pot is stirring over.
Yo!
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's right.
Okay,
We have
what?
the. Yes, that's
He was a
right.
great sorcerer and king of old. The witch king of
Amazing.
Angmar, the greatest of the nine. Minas Morgul is his lair. My
Come on,
guy
come
right
on,
there.
Nubetta.
Yeah, that's my
You
dude
know how it
right
is.
there.
Incredible.
My guy right there.
We've got it all on hand, people.
Guys, this has been amazing, phenomenal, a super fun time. We went well over the hour that we intend to usually keep our
We
podcast.
totally did.
to.
I'm so
But
sorry.
that goes to show how much fun we've had. So being that we had such a good time, we also want to impart words of wisdom, and we're going to leave you guys with some in-depth wisdom from Kali. She's going to give you her. That's your cue, Kali.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it didn't sound. That didn't sound like the end of a sentence. I was like waiting.
I was leaving it for you to take. Like,
All right, yeah, we'll work on
Take
our
the wheel.
transitions there. We'll work
Right.
on our pass-offs when I come to
Alright.
New York. So we talked about Comic-Cons, and I'm going to provide 5 really quick and simple tips for cosplay etiquette. So the first one that you will hear a lot is cosplay is not consent. So the second tip is to ask before taking pictures. The third
Mhm.
piece of advice is don't touch the person or the costume unless permission is given.
Or the
Um,
props.
Or the props. Yeah, just don't touch things. Don't
Yeah.
like give things a kick or anything. People work really hard on this stuff.
Really hard. Absolutely.
Really hard. So don't do that, but do be generous with your compliments. And the final piece of advice, my favorite one, if you must do battle, make sure you have plenty of space.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
To get a
Awesome. That's
venue.
awesome. Guys, thank you once again. You know what I'm saying? One last thing before we leave, just make sure you give everyone your socials and where they can reach you and how they can see you.
Yes.
So, Lauren.
Instagram, Lauren Does Cosplay, all one word. I think TikTok, Lauren Does Cosplay with periods in between the words. Lauren Does Cosplay on YouTube. I actually just released my Thor and Oakenshield
Yes.
cosplay tutorials
Okay.
today. Made that like 6 months
Amazing.
ago, got that up. I'm gonna make my Galadriel cosplay tutorial soon. Elle Does Cosplay on Twitter. It's all in the same vein. You can-
Gotcha.
All right.
Anna Maria.
I am at only Anna Maria with 2 N's on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And after years of bullying and peer pressure, I will finally start making TikToks this week.
Woo!
So
Do you have an account?
I have happily and peacefully been a consumer of TikToks and that account for years. I've known nothing but serenity, and now I'm like, well, let's get
That's
into
the
it.
Get in the shit pit.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah, well, this is it, though. You know what I'm saying?
But you
No, but
know,
it's
I'm
really
all
a
about-
fun, lovely community.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be a
For the
good
most
time.
part.
Yeah.
It'd be a good time. Yeah.
So thank you guys, man. I know we got a regular life to get back to, as I have to go make sure that you know what I'm saying, I have some dinner ready and everything, and go check on my son and give my fiance a big kiss so she wasn't
People things.
So
Real
Oh,
life
yeah.
guys,
stuff.
it's been a pleasure once again. I will talk to you all very soon. Hopefully we will get together, and we are out, and that is it for this episode of Voices of Arda.
Have a
Peace.
great week.
Bye.
Bye.